الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا يا أكرم الأكرمين. Praise be to Allah, the Lord, cherisher and sustainer of the worlds, the most gracious, the most merciful, the master of the day of judgment. All praise is due to Allah, and Allah's peace and blessings be on His last messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his pure family, his loyal companions, and all those who follow them with righteousness and good deeds until the day of judgment. And the brother is asking about the ruling of iddah and whether it applies to old women. Yes, the rule of iddah applies to all women, young and old. So the rule of iddah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Holy Quran, for in two cases, whether the woman was divorced after consummating the marriage or the husband dies. In both cases, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do not make them leave the house, and they should not leave it by themselves. So the husband is not allowed to move her from that house of divorce, the one where they were married in, and she should not leave without any need. She should stay there for the duration of iddah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not specify any relaxation or difference in the ruling between a young and an old woman. So when there is no need, she should not leave the houses during the iddah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Now,
stops thinking that this might affect or have some effect in his body matters, or something might go wrong because of as a result of this sin, and he stops from the sin. So in the background he has that lovely questioning because of this sin, but that is not the first thing that strikes his mind. The first thing that strikes is maybe I might be affected by some calamity because of this sin. So abstaining from that sin, is that enough, or the reason also matters?
That's good. That's a good question. The first one, the concept of iddah, it has two rights. First, the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in it. It's a ruling ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, similar to any other religious obligation in Islam. You are required to fast the month of Ramadan. Whether you know the wisdom or not, you have to oblige to that. You have to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to give zakah. But still, each ruling in Islam, it has wisdom, for sure, whether we know it or not. Now, the concept of iddah, there is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a form of worship. There is also the right of the husband. And this is from different aspects. One of the most important aspects is if there is a possibility of a pregnancy, a child, that is his. So during that duration, you will come to know about if there is any possibility of a pregnancy that will show as the pregnancy develops, and thus that will be his child, and thus the ruling, the rest of the ruling will apply to him. The name, the lineage, the inheritance, etc., all of that will apply to that child. There is also another aspect, which is sometimes, especially the one of death. The woman, if she had a deep connection with the previous husband, she will be grieved for quite a long time. Some of them remain in this grief for very long. Now, when she feels that she cannot do many things as a restriction during that time, when it will be over, she will be more willing to go and practice her life normally rather than stay. So it's like a stage, a moving stage, in it to prepare her psychologically and emotionally to go on with her life in a state of being in the past. And there could be many other reasons if somebody comes to think about it. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. This is what comes to mind. Now the brother has another question. The second question of the brother is that if somebody abstained from major sins, not for fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or due to the sin itself, but for fear of consequences, for example, in this world. Now we have 2 points. The first point, if somebody intends to do a sin and he does not do it for whatever reason, he intends to do it but he does not do it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will write for him what? A reward, one single reward. He didn't do it. He wanted to, he was able to, but he stopped. Alhamdulillah. This is by itself, this is something good. Despite the reason. This is something that is good. As the Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ mentioned in the hadith, when a person intends to do a good deed and he does not do it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will write for him one single hasana. He didn't do it. You intend to do something, you didn't do it for any reason. See the importance of a good intention. Always have a good intention. And if he does it, that good deed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will write it for him as 10 rewards. On the other hand, if he intends to do a bad deed and he does not do it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will write for him one good deed. And if he intends to do a bad deed and he does it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will write against him one single bad deed. So this is now the second point is, actually that is not the criteria of a good Muslim or a true believer, to fear people and not fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the criteria of a hypocrite. And that is why it's dangerous. Somebody has to reevaluate himself. If he's, as you said, the brother is asking if somebody is fearing consequences in this world. For example, the police could catch him or a calamity will hit him, etc. What about the calamities in the hereafter? I think they are easy. The punishment and the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the displeasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with you, etc. This is even worse by any means. So it means there is a problem. We are not actually true believers. Let me give you just an example to clarify the concept of being true believer. Now imagine if they come up with a device that is installed with every one of us that will record the good and the bad, whatever you say. If you say, for example, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, it will count. 1, 2, 3, 4, as many as you like. And if you say something bad or do something bad, it will write 1 against you. Now by the end of each and every day, they will collect that. For everything that is good that you say, they will give you 1 dirham. Say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, akbar, 4 dirham. Okay, we'll continue as much as you like. By the end of the day, you will get full money for everything that you said. On the other hand, every bad thing that you said, you will get, for example, a fine or a lash, or a hitting, or a slap, whatever punishment you like, for each bad thing that you did. Okay? So they record, they keep a record. Now, what do you think we will do throughout our day? We'll continue to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say good things, right? Now by the end of the day, you'll come and say, mashallah, how much did you get? I get 5,000. How much did you get? You get 10,000. Ah, okay. Next day I'm going to do, how much did you get? You get 100,000. 100,000? What did you do? I didn't do anything. From the moment I wake till the moment I slept, I just kept on remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What will you say? Okay, tomorrow I'm going to do the same. True? If somebody did some bad things and he got the punishment by the end of the day, will he repeat them the next day? No. If he wasted his day and he didn't do anything, will he waste the second day? No. So if you truly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this actually happens. It's already there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already keeping a record of whatever you do, whatever you say. Each and everything. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Holy Quran about the 2 angels that keep the record, whatever he utters, except that this is recorded. Whatever. Anything. It's already recorded. It is recorded. So the concept of being true believer, we have to remind ourselves all the time of this. Yes, forget about whatever punishment in this world. This is nothing. It does not compare. The Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ said in the hereafter, they will bring the people from the people of heaven. Somebody who was the most miserable person on earth. The most miserable person on earth. He suffered throughout his life. All kind of suffering. And he'll be dipped in the blessings of heaven, just one single dip. And he'll be asked, have you ever been in any kind of suffering? He'll say, no, I don't remember any kind of suffering at all. He'll forget all, whatever happened. And a person from this world who will come who was always in blessings and favors and enjoyment in this life. He never suffered anything at all throughout his life. And he'll be dipped a single dip in hellfire, and he will be asked, have you ever had any good time? And I say, no, I never had a single moment of a good time. He will forget everything. It doesn't compare at all. So we have to always remind ourselves of this reality. This is a reality. We are in this world on a temporary basis. We return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will be held accountable for each and everything we do. So yes, alhamdulillah, he didn't do it, great, by all means. But this is just step number one. He needs to look forward. And for good Muslims, you don't just want to abstain from bad deeds. You also want to increase your good deed as much as you want. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Naam.
When the woman, her husband died, she belongs to husband, mother or father, her husband, her mother or father. She can marry according to husband.
No, she's free. After the death of the husband, the woman is free. And the family of the husband has absolutely no rule whatsoever over her. They don't have actually any rule over her or any obligation over her, not even during the life of the husband. She is responsible towards the husband's only, not towards his father or mother or relatives. They have absolutely no authority over her whatsoever, not even during the life of the husband, let alone after the death of the husband. So no, she is free, and it's up to her will and her family, but not any other families. Clear? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Now, we have time for 3 more questions, inshallah. Now.
تعقيب السؤال الأول لو ترك المعصية أول شيء ترك المعصية ليس خوفا من الله هل يؤجر عليها؟
And this is what he said. Yes, الأجر نعم موجود.
نعم. طيب.
جاوبنا في البداية.
في قول منتشر عند البعض هو ظلم الجميع عدل أو العدل في الظلم عدل. هل هناك شيء من هذا في الشرع؟
نعم. نعم.
مش صحيح.
لا غير صحيح.
يعني لو اجتهد في المفصل يعني عاقب الجميع ظلما.
لا هو زاد في الظلم. زاد في الظلم، بدل ما يظلم واحد ظلم 10، هو زيادة في الظلم والعياذ بالله. نعم. ليس عدلا.
يعني لو افترضنا أذنب واحد وما استطاع يعرفه فعاقب الجميع.
أيضا هذا غلط، هذا من الأساليب الخاطئة، ليس هكذا. كيف؟ والله أعلم. لا هذا ما ينفع.
أخي أخيرا.
يتفضل.
التجارة في أشياء ليست ذات قيمة كأرقام الموبايلات كأرقام السيارات هل فيها شيء؟
والله يخشى أن تكون فقط تدخل في باب السرف والخيلاء فقط ليس إلا، فإذا وصلت إلى هذا الحد فيها شوي شبهة. ما سوى ذلك بيع يعني وشراء إذا ما في مخالفة ما في حرج، لكن يخشى فقط أن تدخل في هذا الجانب، جانب الخيلاء والسرف. فإذا كان فيها مصلحة لأحد وباعها خلاص على الذي اشتراها براحته.
هي الشيء إنه الناس تتخذ له قيمة.
براحته هو لا ليس هكذا. القيمة تختلف من إنسان لإنسان. قد هذا الشيء لإنسان يعني له شيء معين أيا كان هذا الشيء، فبالنسبة له قيمة مستعد يدفع فيه، ليس بالضرورة. فهو المشتري إذا ما اشترى سرفا أو خيلاء بالنسبة له ما في حرج مهما كان هذا القيمة بالنسبة له. قد يكون ذا قيمة له. افترض كتاب، أنت تبحث عن كتاب نادر، الكتاب قيمته مثلا 20-30 بس ما في منه أو ما محصل وصار لك سنين تدور ما حصلته عند واحد عرف أنك تريده وقال لك والله ما أبيع لك إلا ب500. إذا اشتريته أنت ب500 تعتبر مبذر مثلا أو مسرف؟ أنت بالنسبة لك مهم. ما كون هذاك غلى في السعر براحته، بيع وشراء على العرض والطلب، لأنه ليس من الأشياء الأساسية، ما في احتكار. هذا مو غذاء مثلا راح تموت أو دواء أو كذا، اللهم إلا إذا كان علم نادر قد يقاس عليها يحتاج المجتمع، بس ما سوى ذلك وليس احتكارا. والله أعلم. نعم. الله سبحانه وتعالى knows best. نعم. The brother first and she'll come. نعم. Yes. The concept of adoption can be used in 2 different meanings. One of them is taking care of an orphan or a baby of another family who cannot help him or support him. Taking care of that, bringing him home and living with your family for the duration of his youth till he becomes an adult, and then he might continue but with different rules, continue with the family or live separately or live by himself, etc. Taking care of that, this is one of the greatest good deeds in Islam. The Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ says the best household of Muslims is a household where an orphan is being taken care of. Take an orphan in a family, not in a boarding place or something. And he has to live within a family situation. This is the best thing we can do. Great. But the other meaning of adoption, which is to deprive the child from his original biological father, this is a crime in Islam. This is not allowed. Taking the name and attach him to you, no, this is a crime. This is not allowed. You cannot do that. See? This is difference. Because here you are actually depriving the child from his biological father and depriving the biological father from the lineage. Else, moreover, it will create problems later on. You are now calling him one of your children or son, and that will affect the rest of the family. So the rulings, for example, he cannot marry, if he's a child, he cannot marry any of your daughters. While in Islam, no, he can. He is a foreigner. He is not from the family. The other part, he might take part of the inheritance. He is not entitled to any part of the inheritance. He can take from your will, but not from the inheritance. So there are many rules that will be affected by this. Similarly, the rule of hijab between male and female when he becomes an adult. All of this will be transposed. This is also not allowed in Islam. There are many reasons why changing the name or recalling him to you, this is not allowed in Islam. But taking care of him within the family, this is one of the greatest things to do, and this is one of the things that will make you closer to the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ in heaven, in paradise. The Messenger Muhammad ﷺ said, I and the caretaker of an orphan are this close in paradise. And the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ slightly parted his forefinger and middle finger. This close in paradise. So taking care of an orphan, a great thing, but don't change the name. That's all. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. So, yeah.
With the consent of...
No, but change the name, you cannot by any mean at all. Not allowed in any case. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly said in the Holy Quran, even if you do not know their father, call them your brothers in religion. He is a brother, a Muslim brother. Means give him any name, general name. You do Muhammad, son of Abdullah, whosoever Abdullah that is, and that's it. But changing the name, no, this is not allowed in Islam. This is one of the major sins in Islam. And anyone who intentionally changed that name, the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ considered that also a major sin, God forbid. Not allowed. Intentionally changing the name, whether they have children or they are not blessed with children. But as we said, taking care of an orphan, taking an orphan, and residing with them in the family till he grows up, till he becomes an adult, etc. This is a great thing to do. One of the great things to do. And if there,
Adoption is
yes, change, no. Changing the name, this is not allowed at all.
yeah, without changing adoption can be?
Yeah, adoption means taking care of him. Yes, we say this is one of the best thing to do. This is one of the best thing to do. Yes, yes, brother.
Not just taking care of an orphan, rather I don't have kids, and I'm just taking it, and treating it as of my own kid.
What is the difference? Whether you have children or you don't have children, the rule is the same. You are taking care of an orphan. Whether you have other children or you don't have another children, it does not make the rule any difference.
No, he is not orphan. He has biological.
Even if he has parents, no problem. But here you will not get the reward of taking care of an orphan. But if the family is poor, you are supporting them, fine. If they are just doing you a favor, providing you with a child to live with you, etc., without changing the name or anything, you can do that. There are no harm. But keep in your mind, when he becomes an adult, or even before that, when he becomes aware of the differences between the genders, etc. So you have the mother has to wear hijab, not to be alone at any given time, etc. If she didn't suckle him when he was young, if she suckled him when he was young, she will be his mother by fostering. So there is no problem. But if she didn't do that, the moment he becomes he becomes aware of these differences, then it becomes impermissible to be alone with her at any given moment or without hijab in front of him. That is the only catch. So when he's young, no problem. When he grows, the rules will change. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Where?
Our Prophet also adopted Zayd radiallahu anhu.
Yes, that is before it was forbidden. In the beginning, it was allowed. And the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam adopted Zayd radiallahu anhu. He was given to him by his wife, Khadija radiallahu anha. She gave it to him, to the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was given to her as a slave. He was captured in war. And he was sold. When she bought him, she gave him as gift to the Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam liked him and loved him and treated him as a child, continued, and he loved the Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam likewise. Obviously, anybody with the Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he was very fond of the Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The father of Zayd radiallahu anhu, we'll conclude with this inshallah, we'll continue later on. The father of Zayd radiallahu anhu, he heard that his son was in Mecca. He was sold in Mecca. So he and the uncle of the child, they came to Mecca and they asked till they reached the Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And they came to the Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked him to return him back. They wanted to buy him from the Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, I'll give you something even better. Something better. I'll give him to you for free. Do it. Okay? But you have to ask him if he would like to go with you. I'm not going to force him to leave. Okay? So they came and they asked him. Zayd radiallahu anh looked at his father and he said, I love you very much and I wish to go back with you, but I cannot leave Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he said, no way. So I choose to stay with the Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That moment, the Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam took him inside Kaaba and took the father, told him, come. And in front of everybody, he told him, be witness that this is my son now. He is Zayd, son of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. To please the father. So the father will not feel like, so he's a free person, he is my son now. That was in the beginning of Islam, as we said, it was not forbidden at that time. Clear? And the father was very happy, and they went. And Zayd radiallahu anh continued the Messenger of Muhammad. He was one of the most beloved to the Messenger of Muhammad. He and his son later on. Now Zayd radiallahu anh remained with the Messenger of Muhammad until he, for some times. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Ahzab, later on, that was in Medina, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayah that forbade adoption. So he was no longer called Zayd, son of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that was the ayah which was revealed to forbade him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no more, call them to their fathers. And if you do not know their fathers, then call them your brothers in religion. Your brothers in religion. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman kathira.